Hello and welcome to ChatRoom. I'm Helen Shea. Well, we all know smoking kills, but still young people continue to take up the habit. Joining me this evening is a young woman who has joined a nationwide crusade to stamp out smoking. Sarah Pulford is a Smokefree Youth Ambassador for the Cancer Society in Hawke's Bay, and she joins me now. Thanks for joining me, Sarah.
Thank you.
So tell me exactly, what is a Smokefree Youth Ambassador?
Well, basically it's a group of young people. There's two of us in Hawke's Bay who, and we're just all working to get a ban on displays of cigarettes.
Right,
Yep.
the visual display of cigarettes.
Yep.
Right.
We're just a youth voice to do that. Yeah.
And how long have you been involved with this?
Since about midway through last year.
What's your motivation for getting involved with something like this?
Well, just I've seen so many people hurt. Everyone knows someone who smokes or is involved in smoking, and my grandfather died of lung cancer. He never actually smoked, but he spent a lot of time in pubs and that sort of thing. So, and in that time that everyone smoked in pubs and that sort of thing. And yeah, I just sort of find it quite sad when so many young people are just taking up smoking, and yeah.
Why do you think it is that they're still doing it with such a strong message that it's so bad for you?
Well, definitely the displays don't help, because you just go up to the counter and, like, right next to the lollies, there's a huge display of cigarettes, and yeah.
Is that what the ban would mean, the visual display of them you're talking about in places like supermarkets, that type of thing?
Yeah, the cigarettes would be kept like under the counter or something, so when you go up to the counter, you wouldn't be able to see the cigarettes at all. People would still be able to ask for cigarettes and say, well, I want this one, but yeah, they wouldn't be able to be displayed so everyone could see them.
Because a lot of supermarkets and that do that now, don't they?
Yeah, they are getting quite good, but there's still a lot of retail outlets that show them quite frequently, and yeah.
Okay, so recently a petition's been put to Parliament on behalf of, or from Hawke's Bay and from yourselves, the Youth Ambassadors. Tell me a little bit about that petition.
Myself and Laura, the other local Smokefree Youth Ambassador, collected signatures at Relay for Life, and we collected, I think it was around 900, 1,000 signatures, and then, yeah, recently we made a submission to Craig Foss, and he's going to take it further and
take it to Parliament and take it to the Health Select Committee, I think is where, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
And it's basically supporting that ban on the visual display of cigarettes. You've spoken yourself to the Health Select Committee, haven't you? Tell me about that. What was that all about?
Yeah, last October we just we got an email sent to all youth ambassadors, and it was just write your own submission and the best ones will be taken to Parliament. So I thought, oh yeah, I'll give it a go. And so I wrote one, and a little while later I got a call back, oh yeah, Sarah, you're selected to go to Parliament. I was like, okay, this is awesome.
Wow, what was it like?
Oh, it was really interesting. Just before us, we watched the submission. I think it was something to do with party pills, and they completely ripped that speaker to shreds. They were just shooting him down and asking impossible questions and all this sort of thing. And so that made us a bit nervous, but we got up there and they loved what we were saying, and a lot of them said it was one of the best submissions they've ever seen. And
so tell me about what you told them. What was the message you gave them?
It was basically just a personal response from each. In the end, there were 6 of us that were selected, and each of us, we just said a little bit. I think our speech was only about 30 seconds each, but yeah, we just gave a personal response, and yeah, based on our submission that we.
Right, and what was your submission on?
I think my one was about how it's so sad to see, like, my mates and other young people just go through smoking and seeing them smoke, and it's just horrible seeing,
How is it? What has the response been from your friends to being the Smokefree Youth Ambassador?
There's been some interesting reactions, but there's a lot of people are very supportive of it, and yeah, a few of them are like, well, what are you doing that for? But a lot of them, most of them, are very supportive, and they say, well, it's a really good cause, and a lot of them, even if they do smoke, they say, well, go for it, keep fighting.
Do you see a lot of your young friends smoking out there? Is it?
There are a lot of people, young people smoking. Yeah, I'm friends with a few. Most of my friends have either given up or something like that, but...
Because it's so expensive nowadays too for them to actually smoke.
Definitely, but a lot of people, there's some people whose parents smoke, they get their parents to buy it, and it's part of their weekly allowance. I do know some people who have said, their parents have said that you can either get allowance or cigarettes, sort of thing.
Really?
Yeah, I have heard of that. So,
so how do you, as a smoke-free ambassador, youth ambassador, how do you go up against that?
Well, I do try and talk about to them about giving up and that sort of thing. And one of my friends, she actually came with us when we talked to Craig Foss, and she told him about, it was as she was giving up, and she actually talked to him about what it meant for her, and that it would make it so much easier to quit and that sort of thing. So that was pretty good.
Okay. Now you're at Karamu High, is that right?
Yep.
And you're involved in other things other than the youth ambassador. Tell me a little bit about the other things that you're involved in.
Yep, I'm in the Hastings Youth Council, and that's basically a youth voice for the district council, and it's a group of us from all different schools. And I'm also a peer support worker at Directions Youth Health Centre, and basically I just need to deal with young people, and I'm the sort of usually the first person that people deal with when they get in the door. And
wow, that's a pretty sort of full-on job for yourself.
Oh, it's really fun. Yeah, I get to deal with heaps of different people, and it's quite fun.
And in the future, can you see yourself, you're in year 12, which is sixth form, aren't you? In the future, can you see yourself dealing with this sort of youth area, going into that?
Yeah, I would like to get into something youth work related, or else I am also into art and design and that sort of thing, so something between those.
Those two lines, okay. Now, we're going to have a look at a bit of a DVD. Tell me a little bit about what that's all about.
The DVD is basically about what research has been done on the marketing of tobacco products, and it's also interviewing a lot of people who have been affected by smoking. There's a guy who's had mouth cancer and he's lost a lot of his mouth, and there's a woman with the hole in her throat and that sort of thing. So it can be quite emotional, and yes, a lot of it is also about the research that's been done and just marketing to kids and that sort of thing.
And I suppose in some ways it's sent to shock, isn't it? Because that's what we need to do, do you think?
Yeah, definitely. Some people do need to be shocked out of their ways, but I think also for some smokers you'll need to go directly to them and talk straight to them, because some people, they're just sort of like, well, that happened to them, but it's not going to happen to me.
Right.
But 1 in 2 smokers get affected by some smoking-related illness, and considering 5,000 New Zealand smokers die every year, well, yeah, it's quite huge.
It is. Well, thank you so much for your time and coming in. Good luck for the future.
Awesome, thank you very much.
Well, that's it from me, but stay with us, because after the break you're going to see that DVD from the Cancer Society on the effects of smoking. I'm Helen Shea. Good evening.